to another one of my speed builds. For today, our travels bring us to Cuidad Enamorada, and that's the new world that came with the Sims 4 Lovestruck expansion pack. So today I'm building these two colorful attached houses. I wouldn't know exactly if I would call them Mexican or not, but yeah, they were inspired by this pin which I found on Pinterest, and I thought it was so cute. It's from the game Forge of Empires, which I built from not that long ago. So today I'm doing this video a little bit different, as you can see. So yeah, this is my face. Hi. I just spontaneously decided to do this because this is going to be the video where I answer your Q&A questions. So I thought that I would also show my face while I do it. So I literally just threw on some makeup and this dress and a wig. This is obviously not my real hair, so yeah, I don't really look that well put together today, but let's just ignore that. Anyway, you probably can't tell because I'm just a little rectangle or square, or I'm not sure what shape it's gonna be on your screen right now. So anywho, let's start with the questions. I'm gonna answer first the questions that I got on the first post where I asked you guys to send me some questions, and here it goes. So the first question is from Rofo. How has your building style changed over the years, and how do you expect it to be in the future? I've been building since The Sims 1, and I wasn't really a great builder in any of the first few Sims games. I used to build a lot of modern stuff, like, I don't know, 5 years ago, let's say. I only built modern, and then from that I moved to like the more cottagecore, you know, witchy kind of builds, cozy, woodsy, you know, that kind of thing, fantasy. And I'd say that after using CC, I branched out much more. I do a mix of everything, like fantasy, historical, modern, transitional. Most of my builds right now are transitional, and how do I expect it to be in the future? I have no clue. I just usually go with the flow. I try to follow trends that I like, so who knows how my build style is going to change in the future. Okay, the next question is, did you play with previous Sims games? Yeah, as I said, I have been playing The Sims since the first game, and since the first game I've been building and doing gameplay. Although in The Sims 4 I haven't been really doing any gameplay, it's mostly building, and I think there is a question about that, so I'll just dig deeper into that in a bit. Do you play any other video games, especially building game? I do play other video games. I consider myself a gamer, but not necessarily like building games. There is this cute game that I kind of dabbled into recently, which is Townscaper, but I mostly play action RPGs, especially the medieval fantasy ones like Skyrim, The Witcher, and Assassin's Creed. The next question is, which CC creators could you not build without? So I have about 5 creators that I consider my top 5 CC creators. I think they're 5 or 6, I don't remember. But if you go to my Patreon and check out my master CC list, it has all of the creators that I build with in every single build, and they are House of Harlix, Hey Harry, Flixandre, Charlie Pancakes, Pierre Sim, and Tuts. So how many were those? 6? Yeah, those are the CC creators. Oh, and Cluttercat. Next question, which of your own builds is your favorite? That is a very tough question to answer, but so I'm actually going through my builds at the moment, and I'm gonna see if I can single out 1 or 2 builds as my favorites. So there is Zaytuna Hill House, which I absolutely love. I love my Arabic builds in general, so like the riyads. There's also this build called Guardian of the Veil, which I absolutely love. I don't even know. I love them all. Also, Hacienda Rancho gets a special mention because I also love that one. So yeah, I guess I don't really know what my favorite build is. There are also a couple of older ones that I absolutely love. Yeah, I can't really choose. This is very hard. I can't choose. How and when did you start building in The Sims? So yeah, like I said, I started in The Sims 1. However, I don't really consider myself a builder or being good at building until The Sims 4. And not until I watched a lot of building videos like from James Turner and all of those big names, that's when I really picked up some building skills, and yeah, I improved after that. Which architectural period in history is your favorite? I'm not sure how to answer that because I'm not really well versed in architecture. When you say period, it's like, I don't know. I really don't know. I love Victorian houses, so let's say Victorian. But I also love older kinds of architecture, like classical, neoclassical, you know, anything that is historical. So yeah, not a very insightful answer. Okay, so moving on to the next post where I asked for questions, and I'm just realizing that I didn't mention the usernames of the other people who asked the questions. I completely forgot. Yeah, sorry about that, ADHD. So anyway, the next question is from Diz03. I'm just gonna put your name on the screen. Also, thank you so much. I was worried that I'm not gonna have any questions to do this video, but now I do. So do you have a favorite architectural style? As I said, I love historical builds in general, but I also, Mediterranean builds have a very special place in my heart, and I also love Victorian architecture. How do you come up with ideas for your builds, and how do you decide which builds to share on your channel? So to answer the last part of your question first, I share everything I build on my channel. There was never a build that I did and didn't decide to publish on my channel. How do I come up with the ideas? So I mostly scroll through Pinterest and just pick something and base my build off of that. That's how most of my builds go. I just scroll through Pinterest and like whatever intrigues me, and I go like, oh, I gotta build that now, is the build that I go for. So absolutely zero planning goes towards my builds. I don't have like a list of builds that I want to do this month or anything like that. It's just completely spontaneous, whatever I feel like in the moment. Sometimes I get inspired by I don't know, like an image I see on Instagram, or a piece of new CC that I have, a new CC collection, you know, anything could basically inspire a full build. Like once I built an entire house just based on a piece of, I think, fabric that I saw on Instagram. So yeah, anything could inspire me to build something really. What are some things you hate about building or The Sims 4 in general? About building, I don't hate anything about building. I struggle a bit with exteriors and landscaping, but it's not like I don't enjoy them. But what I do hate is the recording process. I don't like recording, and I mean, it's not bad. What I really hate is taking the screenshots of the build once it's finished. I really hate that. And I wish I can just delegate that part of the whole, like, you know, building and publishing a video. I wish I could delegate that part to someone else. Well, that and preparing the CC list, because I also hate that. What I hate in The Sims 4 in general is the bugs that we have. Yeah, especially at this point and after this last expansion pack, it has been basically unplayable. By the way, I did try the gameplay a little bit because I was bored and waiting for some of my mods to be updated, so I tried the gameplay, and it was very glitchy and buggy. At some point I was gonna rage quit, not gonna lie. So yeah, the gameplay is just not for me. It's gotten incredibly boring and glitchy. What are your favorite non-CC build and buy items? I don't really remember the non-CC items. Nothing specific really comes to mind at the moment. What has been your most ambitious build idea or project so far? The vampire castle that I built a while ago with more than 8 bedrooms, that was very, very ambitious. My last villa was a little more on the ambitious side, even though it didn't really take that long. Corvo Bianco, which is a replica from Corvo Bianco from The Witcher, was the very, 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 very ambitious build. I think it's the build that took the longest time for me, and I just couldn't finish it. I spent weeks on it. Do you have a dream build or a project that you haven't done yet? I think I would love to create a high school for the high school years expansion pack, and also I would love to create the magic like school lot for Realm of Magic, you know, the secret one where you go and like study magic or whatever. I'm not sure if I would call them a dream, but yeah, I really would love to do both of those. Or I would also love to work on a full castle, and I'm not talking like the one I did on Vlad's lot. I'm talking like a huge proper castle on a 64 by 64 lot, and that is fully furnished. But I feel like that isn't really a kind of project that one person would do. It should be more of a collab between 2 or 3 people. Do you get builder's block, and how do you deal with it? Yeah, I'm laughing because I do get builder's block a lot, and when I have it, I just disappear from YouTube. As you guys know, you probably noticed that. But yeah, I just take a break in general. I just don't play The Sims at all or build. I usually do other things like play other video games. And yeah, I take a break from posting on YouTube and social media. That's how I deal with it. And then I just come back to it a few weeks or months later, however much it takes me. But what really helps, sometimes I get like, let's call them mini building blocks, builder's blocks. And when that happens, I just go and put on a speed build video of someone that I love watching, and it immediately inspires me to build. Are there any other Sims 4 creators that inspire you, or you just like watching? Would you be open to a collab with any of them? Well, absolutely, I would love to collab with anyone. I already did one collab with a builder that I really admire, which is Brianna Sims. So yeah, she's also one of the top creators that I love watching. I'm not gonna lie, I usually mostly watch CC speed builds, not non-CC. So we have Brianna Sims, Sims Finny, Eva Rotke, Honey Bella, even though she hasn't been active for like a year or more, and yeah, those are the ones that come to mind. There are also some no CC builders that I appreciate a lot, which are I'm not sure if I'm even gonna remember. I used to watch Plant Sim Girl a lot. Oh, I can't forget Sadie Sim, because she's like the goddess of fantasy builds. Would you try any other type of content on your channel besides building, let's plays, or something like that? I'm not sure. I'm really not sure, because like when it comes to speed builds, I'm in this very specific niche. I'm stuck in it. I'm not saying that I hate it, which is CC speed builds. Anytime I try something different, it just doesn't go well. And by different, I mean like no CC speed builds. My no CC speed builds are, no one watches them. No one watches them at all. So I'm really scared of trying different types of Sims 4 content. I also don't do gameplay, as I said. So yeah, I don't know. I think it would be interesting to do like the let's play as a builder or as a person who hasn't done gameplay in a very, very long time. But I don't know. I really don't know. You always have great background music in your videos. Oh, thank you. Is The Witcher 3 your favorite game? What are some other games you liked over the years? What did you... Okay, let's answer these one by one. Is The Witcher 3 your favorite game? Yes. What are some other games you liked over the years? I mentioned The Witcher. I like all 3 Witcher games. Assassin's Creed, also all of them, especially the Ezio trilogy. And I'm forgetting something. Dragon Age, also all 3 games. And there is my favorite childhood game, which is Dark Cloud 2. I also like Final Fantasy X2 because it's from my childhood. And other than that, I haven't actually played that much video games because I didn't really have an opportunity to. What did you think about The Witcher on Netflix? I don't like it. I don't like it at all, and I'm very, very, very disappointed. Let's just leave it at that. Do you have any other hobbies you're into? Oh boy, where do I start? So I have ADHD, so it's very hard for me to keep up with my hobbies, not to mention that I am a slave, like my hobbies are a slave to my ADHD and what I feel and don't feel like at the moment. So for example, I love reading, but I haven't read a book in like a year, maybe even more. I love painting and drawing, but I also haven't done any like you know, kind of art in maybe 2 years. I also love singing, and I do sing in my spare time whenever I have it and whenever I feel like it. Yeah, other than that, I love everything creative. I like watching TV shows and movies, listening to music, you know, like everyone else. Do you have a favorite travel destination or just a place you'd really like to visit? Yeah, I love to visit most of Europe, basically. I really like Paris, London, Scotland. Like I really love historic old cities, plus anywhere that has beautiful nature. Nature is just something I really, really miss, especially since now I live in Dubai, where nature is basically non-existent. Okay, so next up we have Sugar Min. And the questions are, what's your favorite things about Syria? How has your life changed when you moved from there? Do you feel happy now? Wow, these are very like personal questions, but my favorite things about Syria is the nature, especially since, like I mentioned, I don't have really that much nature around me at the moment. So yeah, Syria has some beautiful natural landscapes and I miss that. I just really don't know. I spent the last 17 years of my life in Syria, so I have this kind of weird nostalgic longing feeling for it, even though it's literally one of the worst places to live in on earth right now. The war has affected everything very badly, and yeah, but I do miss it just for nostalgic reasons. And how has my life changed when I moved from there? Well, it just turned completely upside down. Like it's a completely different world, and I'm sure that if you have moved to a war-ridden third world country to a first world country, you would understand, you would just feel the difference. I mean, I was struggling with basic needs in Syria, like food. We didn't have electricity. It was very, very difficult. And after moving here, it was just a complete shock, a culture shock, because I basically got to experience a normal life in a way. Next question, what is your least favorite type of architecture and of interior design? I generally don't like modern things, like whether it's modern architecture or interior design. I also don't like minimalism. In terms of architecture itself, I don't like, other than modern, I mean, I don't like brutalist that much. I don't really like mid-century modern. Yeah, craftsman houses, interior design. I used to say I don't like modern, but sometimes modern is fun as long as it's not minimalistic. Because I don't like minimalism, and as long as it's not like millennial gray and millennial white, because I also don't like those. Okay, the last question we have for today is, what is your computer spec to run your game? I imagine it's a pretty heavy duty type because of the amount of CC you use, and your editing software takes up a lot of space. Well, actually, I don't have a great laptop. My personal laptop, which I usually use, runs The Sims reasonably well. It does lag a lot, which you can't see in the speed build because it's sped up, but it does run the game, and I actually don't really have that much CC. Like, I can check. So I only have around 50 gigabytes of CC, which isn't bad. And I would also like to note that I don't have all of my CC in my mods folder at the same time, because it all just depends on what I'm building at the moment. So I just take out the CC that I won't be needing for that specific build. So yeah, usually I have around like 30 gigabytes of CC just at once in my mods folder. So yeah, you don't actually need a computer or a laptop with specs that are out of this world or like heavy duty gaming at all. Let me check what are the specs of this current laptop that I use, because it's not my actual personal laptop. Okay, so the current laptop is 12th gen. The core is i7. My RAM is 16 gigabytes. Where is my graphics card? I'm not sure about my graphics card because it actually doesn't say here. I'm probably just stupid and I missed it, but yeah, this is actually a good, decent laptop, and it runs the game perfectly well with no lagging at all. But I'm just saying that even if you have an old, ancient laptop like my other laptop, which doesn't have any of these specs at all, let me see if I can remember. It was i5, Core i5, and my graphics card was NVIDIA 920 MX maybe, and my RAMs were, I think, just six, yeah. So anyway, you don't need a very powerful laptop to be able to create content for The Sims 4 and make speed builds, and you also don't need a lot of CC to create nice builds. And about the editing software, yeah, usually editing software does take up a lot of space, so that is why I don't use my laptop to edit my videos. I actually use my phone. I feel like any kind of modern phone these days can handle editing. I just use this free app that is called YouCut, and it's actually pretty great. It's, of course, it doesn't produce videos as the same quality as Premiere Pro or whatever, but it does a decent job, as you can see. Okay, so I guess that's it for this video. I answered all of your questions, I hope. I don't think I forgot anyone, so thank you again everyone for sending over these questions and for congratulating me on reaching 5K. So I hope you enjoyed this video, and I hope to see you again in the next one. Also, I forgot to mention that this is a no CC build. The filming got different at some point because I got bored. I'm so sorry. So I just kind of like did a walkthrough of the house without actually showing the building process. But yeah, I'm sorry about that, but I really got bored. So yeah, thank you for watching, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye!